Title: The Compassion of Buddhism. Teachings that enlighten humanity and inspire progress. Introduction. In a world increasingly driven by materialism, competition, and individualism, the timeless wisdom of Buddhism offers a sanctuary of compassion, mindfulness, and self-realization, rooted in the noble teachings of Gautama Buddha over 2,500 years ago. Buddhist philosophy seeks not only to alleviate suffering but also to elevate the soul toward enlightenment. This presentation explores the profound influence of Buddha's teachings on humanity, focusing on how his spiritual compassion, Karuna, ethical virtues, and practical guidance have continuously inspired individuals and societies to evolve with wisdom, empathy, and moral strength. Chapter 1. The Origin of Buddha's Compassion for Sentient Beings. The life of Siddhartha Gautama, the historical Buddha, is the genesis of one of the most compassionate doctrines in human history. Born a prince, Siddhartha chose the path of renunciation upon witnessing the realities of sickness, aging, and death. His deep empathy for the suffering of all living beings led him on a journey of spiritual awakening, culminating in his enlightenment beneath the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya. What distinguishes Buddhism is its inclusive love for all beings, human and non-human alike. Buddha did not preach a religion for a chosen people, but rather a universal path for the liberation of every sentient being from suffering, dukkha. His heart overflowed with loving kindness, metta, and his mission was not to conquer others, but to liberate them from ignorance, attachment, and hatred. Chapter 2. The Four Noble Truths, the Foundation of Spiritual Growth. At the core of Buddha's teachings are the Four Noble Truths. 1. Dukkha. Life involves suffering. 2. Samudaya. The origin of suffering is attachment and craving. 3. Nirodha. There is a cessation of suffering. 4. Magga. The path to cessation is the Noble Eightfold Path. These truths are not mere theological claims but experiential realities meant to be investigated and realized through inner transformation. By recognizing suffering as a universal condition and understanding its causes, we begin the journey toward liberation. The emphasis is not on blind belief, but on direct insight and ethical living. Don't forget to subscribe to Ancient Stories, like this video, and share the channel with your friends to spread the magic of timeless tales. Chapter 3. The Noble Eightfold Path, Practical Wisdom for Daily Life. The Eightfold Path provides a structured framework for moral conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom. Its components are: 1. Right view. 2. Right intention. 3. Right speech. 4. Right action. 5. Right livelihood. 6. Right effort. 7. Right mindfulness. 8. Right concentration. These 8 aspects work in harmony to purify the mind, improve behavior, and deepen spiritual insight. In essence, they encourage each individual to become a more conscious, compassionate, and ethical human being, an agent of progress in their family, community, and the world. Chapter 4. Karuna and Metta, the heart of Buddha's teachings. Buddha's compassion, karuna, and loving kindness, metta, are not just emotions, but active forces of transformation. Buddhism teaches that when we cultivate these virtues, we become catalysts of peace in the world. The Metta Sutta, one of the most famous Buddhist texts, beautifully articulates the need to love all beings unconditionally, just as a mother would protect her only child with her life. Even so, let one cultivate a boundless love toward all beings. Such love transcends religion, race, gender, and species. It is this universal compassion that forms the moral backbone of Buddhism. Chapter 5. Bodhisattva Ideal, dedicating one's life to others. In Mahayana Buddhism, the ideal of the Bodhisattva exemplifies supreme altruism. A Bodhisattva is one who, though capable of entering nirvana, chooses to remain in the world to assist all beings in their journey toward enlightenment. This ideal urges us not to seek personal salvation alone but to dedicate our lives to the welfare of others. From selfless teachers and monks to ordinary people helping the vulnerable, this spirit of service is what truly embodies progress and virtue in society. Chapter 6. Buddhist morality and human progress. Buddhist morality, or sila, is a cornerstone of spiritual development and ethical living. Unlike a system of imposed commandments, Buddhist ethics arise from deep awareness of cause and effect, karma. It teaches that every action of body, speech, and mind has consequences, and through this lens, we learn that our personal conduct directly shapes our destiny and that of the world. 6.1 The Five Precepts, a moral compass. At the most fundamental level, Buddhist practitioners observe the five precepts, Panchasila, which are 1. To refrain from killing any living being. 2. To refrain from stealing. 3. To refrain from sexual misconduct. 4. To refrain from false speech. 5. To refrain from intoxicants that cloud the mind. These precepts are not just rules but guidelines for cultivating personal integrity, self-discipline, and compassion. They act as the moral soil from which higher spiritual attainments can grow. By practicing nonviolence, honesty, and mindfulness, individuals transform themselves and indirectly uplift the entire social fabric. For instance, refraining from lying doesn't just make one a better person, it builds trust, nurtures relationships, and strengthens communities. 6.2 Morality as the foundation of peace. In a world riddled with conflict, corruption, and inequality, the Buddhist approach to morality offers a clear and peaceful alternative. It teaches us to examine our motivations, develop empathy, and avoid harming others, not out of fear of punishment, but from a place of genuine concern. When individuals live ethically, society becomes more harmonious. Compassionate governance, equitable justice systems, and nonviolent activism are all rooted in the same principles that the Buddha taught millennia ago. As the Dhammapada says, hatred is never appeased by hatred in this world. By non-hatred alone is hatred appeased. This is a law eternal. 6.3 Moral responsibility and global citizenship. The teachings of the Buddha emphasize interdependence, recognition that all life is connected. This insight leads to a broader sense of moral responsibility, not just toward one's family or community, but toward all beings and the earth itself. In the 21st century, where globalization brings both unity and division, Buddhist ethics promote a kind of global citizenship based on understanding, empathy, and mutual respect. Whether addressing poverty, war, racism, or climate change, the principles of Sila urge us to act wisely and compassionately in every sphere of life. Chapter 7. Meditation and Mental Clarity, Awakening Inner Wisdom. Meditation is the soul of Buddhism. It is through bhavana, mental cultivation, that one transcends suffering, overcomes delusion, and awakens to the true nature of reality. 7.1 The Purpose of Meditation. Contrary to popular belief, meditation in Buddhism is not simply a relaxation technique. It is a transformative process that brings about deep insight, vipassana, and concentration, samadhi. It allows practitioners to observe the mind, understand its patterns, and liberate themselves from destructive habits. Through mindfulness and awareness, we begin to understand impermanence, anicca, non-self, anatta, and suffering, dukkha, the three marks of existence. These insights are not philosophical theories but direct realizations experienced in deep meditative states. 7.2 Techniques of meditation in Buddhism. Buddhist traditions offer diverse techniques depending on one's disposition. Among the most widely practiced are Anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing; Metta Bhavana, loving-kindness meditation; Vipassana, insight meditation; Zazen, seated meditation in Zen Buddhism; walking meditation. Each technique is designed to develop awareness, compassion, and equanimity. They are tools for awakening, not ends in themselves. 7.3 Mental Clarity and Inner Progress. Mental clarity leads to emotional balance, which in turn results in wise actions. A society built on mindful individuals is a society free from impulsivity, prejudice, and cruelty. Meditation is thus not only a personal practice but a profound contribution to the collective progress of humanity. Scientific studies in modern times have corroborated what Buddhist masters have long known: meditation reduces stress, enhances well-being, improves concentration, and fosters empathy. In this way, the practice becomes both ancient and modern, timeless in its relevance. Chapter 8. Nonviolence and the value of life. Nonviolence, or Ahimsa, is one of the most sacred and foundational principles in Buddhism. It expresses profound respect for all forms of life, echoing the deep understanding that all beings are interconnected and equally deserving of compassion. 8.1 Ahimsa, the path of harmlessness. The Buddha taught that to harm another is to harm oneself. In this light, nonviolence is not merely the absence of physical aggression but the active cultivation of thoughts, words, and actions that preserve peace and life. Even anger, ill will, or gossip are seen as forms of subtle violence. In the Dhammapada, it is written, "All tremble at violence, all fear death." Putting oneself in the place of another. One should not kill nor cause another to kill. This profound message teaches empathy at its core. When we realize the value of life in every creature, from the smallest insect to the highest deity, our actions become naturally aligned with compassion. 8.2 The role of nonviolence in social change. Historically, Buddhist principles of nonviolence have inspired global movements. From Emperor Ashoka's transformation into a righteous king to modern leaders like Thich Nhat Hanh and the Dalai Lama, nonviolence has been a guiding light in resisting injustice and promoting peace. This approach does not mean passivity. On the contrary, it is a powerful, active force that confronts violence with loving resolve and wisdom. It is the courage to respond to hate with understanding, to break cycles of revenge, and to uphold human dignity in the face of oppression. 8.3 Respect for all life forms. Buddhism's reverence for life extends beyond humans. It recognizes sentience in all creatures. Thus, many Buddhists adopt vegetarianism or veganism, avoid industries that exploit animals, and work toward ecological balance. The Buddhist worldview urges us to live lightly and mindfully upon the earth. Chapter 9. Buddhism and Social Harmony. 9.1 The Sangha. Community as a spiritual support. In Buddhism, the Sangha, or spiritual community, plays a vital role in nurturing personal growth and promoting social unity. It consists of monastics and lay practitioners who walk the path together, providing moral support, spiritual teaching, and practical assistance. The strength of the Sangha comes from mutual respect, shared values, and commitment to the Dhamma. It models an ideal society, free from greed, hatred, and delusion, where harmony flourishes through right understanding and compassionate dialogue. 9.2 Ethics as the basis of social order. Buddhist teachings uphold that society's peace begins with individual morality. When people practice right speech, right action, and right livelihood, social relationships naturally become harmonious. Families become more loving, communities more cooperative, and nations more peaceful. Conflict arises not from external conditions alone, but from internal confusion, craving, and ego. Buddhist practice addresses the root causes of social disorder by transforming the individual mind. 9.3 Forgiveness and reconciliation. Buddhism teaches the power of forgiveness. Holding on to anger only fuels further suffering. The Buddha encouraged his followers to practice upekkha, equanimity, and karuna, compassion, even toward those who do harm. True peace is born when we let go of resentment and recognize our shared humanity. Chapter 10. Wisdom over Dogma. Buddha's Scientific Mind. 10.1 Buddha's Invitation to Inquiry. Unlike many religious founders, the Buddha encouraged questioning and direct experience over blind belief. In the Kalama Sutta, he advised, "Do not believe in anything simply because you have heard it. When you know for yourselves that certain things are wholesome and good, then accept them and live by them." This open-minded spirit reflects a scientific attitude. Buddhism does not rely on coercion or threats of punishment, but on observation, reason, and personal insight. 10.2 Understanding reality through wisdom. Prajna, or wisdom, is central to the Buddhist path. It is the clear seeing of reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. Through deep meditation, study, and ethical living, one develops insight into impermanence, interdependence, and non-self. Such understanding dismantles ignorance, the root of suffering. This wisdom is not esoteric or mystical. It is practical knowledge applied in daily life. 10.3 Buddhism and scientific discovery. In modern times, Buddhist thought has inspired fields such as psychology, neuroscience, and cognitive science. Practices like mindfulness are widely researched for their benefits on mental health. This intersection of ancient wisdom and modern inquiry continues to open new horizons for human well-being. Chapter 11. The Role of Mindfulness in Modern Society. 11.1 Mindfulness as a Way of Life. Mindfulness, sati, means paying full attention to the present moment without judgment. It is the antidote to distraction, anxiety, and unconscious behavior. The Buddha taught mindfulness in all activities, walking, eating, speaking, as a way to awaken from the dream of ignorance. In today's fast-paced world, mindfulness offers a way to slow down, reconnect with ourselves, and act with clarity. It fosters emotional resilience, creativity, and deeper relationships. 11.2 Applications of mindfulness in everyday life. Mindfulness is now practiced in schools, hospitals, prisons, and corporations. It is used to treat depression, addiction, PTSD, and more. These applications reflect the profound adaptability and relevance of Buddhist wisdom. Yet, true mindfulness is more than a tool. It is a spiritual discipline that leads to liberation. When combined with ethics and wisdom, it becomes a path to freedom. 11.3 The Mindful Society. Imagine a world where leaders act mindfully, citizens vote mindfully, businesses operate mindfully. Such a world is not utopian fantasy but a possibility grounded in Buddhist vision. A mindful society is a compassionate society, a world in which people care, listen, and grow together. Chapter 12. Buddhism and Environmental Responsibility. 12.1 Interdependence and the Environment. Buddhism teaches that all life is interconnected. This insight leads naturally to environmental awareness. When we harm nature, we harm ourselves. When we protect the earth, we protect all beings. The principle of dependent origination, paticcasamuppada, reminds us that nothing exists in isolation. Every tree, river, and animal plays a role in the balance of life. 12.2 The ethical basis for ecological living. Buddhist ethics, nonviolence, contentment, and generosity support sustainable living. Reducing consumption, practicing simplicity, and cultivating gratitude help preserve the planet. Buddhist monks often live close to nature, using minimal resources, and respecting all forms of life. Their example inspires ecological consciousness rooted in spiritual practice. 12.3 Buddhist environmental movements. Across Asia and the world, Buddhist communities engage in environmental activism, from tree ordinations in Thailand to climate protests led by monks in Bhutan. Buddhism plays a key role in defending the earth. This activism is not driven by anger but by love, a sacred duty to care for the earth as a living being. Chapter 13. The Global Impact of Buddhist Compassion. 13.1 Spreading the Dharma across the world. Buddhism has transcended geography, culture, and language. From India to Japan, from Tibet to the West, its message has remained consistent: compassion, mindfulness, and awakening. Great teachers like the Dalai Lama, Thich Nhat Hanh, and others have brought Buddhist compassion to global conversations on peace, justice, education, and interfaith dialogue. 13.2 Compassion in Action. Buddhist organizations build schools, run hospitals, assist refugees, and feed the poor, not for reward, but out of love. This is engaged Buddhism, a form of practice that meets the suffering of the world with open arms. 13.3 A Universal Message. Though rooted in ancient India, Buddhism speaks a universal language. Its teachings resonate with atheists, scientists, artists, and spiritual seekers alike. Its strength lies in its adaptability and its unwavering commitment to truth and compassion. Chapter 14. Living the Teachings, Modern Bodhisattvas. 14.1 Who is a Bodhisattva today? A Bodhisattva is anyone who dedicates their life to the liberation of others. They are not supernatural beings, but ordinary people with extraordinary compassion. Teachers, doctors, activists, caregivers, all can be bodhisattvas. 14.2 Examples of bodhisattva behavior. A nurse who listens with full presence. A teacher who inspires students with kindness. A neighbor who helps without being asked. These small actions reflect great spiritual maturity. The Bodhisattva path is about seeing suffering and choosing to respond with love. 14.3 Becoming a light for the world. We all have the potential to embody the Bodhisattva ideal. By practicing mindfulness, cultivating compassion, and committing to service, we become lights for others. As the Buddha said, be a lamp unto yourself. Be a refuge to yourself. Take refuge in the Dhamma. Chapter 15. Conclusion. Becoming a light for others. The teachings of the Buddha are more than doctrines. They are living practices that transform hearts and uplift the world. Rooted in compassion, wisdom, and nonviolence, they provide a path toward true progress, inner and outer. In an age of uncertainty, the relevance of Buddhist values has never been greater. As we walk this path together, let us not only seek our own enlightenment but also work tirelessly for the awakening of all beings. Let us be kind, let us be mindful, let us be of service. In doing so, we fulfill the highest aspiration of the Buddha, to work for the welfare of the many, for the happiness of the many, out of compassion for the world. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings awaken. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us reach more people and keep creating meaningful content. Let me know if you want a more emotional, formal, or casual version.